Bob Bonder. I'm the co-founder and president. I've always been an entrepreneur, I guess, and in love with craft culture. So I actually started off doing business strategy consulting and jumped ship to do stuff that was actually fun instead. And I had me and my current business partner, Brian, used to do consulting on the West Coast in San Francisco. I jumped ship to go get into the coffee world. Started a coffee roasting company out here called Tazamia. And Brian jumped ship and got into the beer world and started running West Coast sales for Dogfish Head. But for me, while I was out here, I was constantly looking for what else does our city need culturally. We're sitting on more heritage in beer than any other place I've ever been. Called my buddy Brian back up in San Francisco and said, hey man, I think I'm gonna build a brewery out here. And he was like, no, I'm moving to Cincinnati. I'll come hang out with you for a couple days, figure out whether a business plan is feasible or not. But he came out, spent a weekend here. I took him to Neon's and Lackman and Atavala and Senate, and you know, there's a lot of good restaurants in San Francisco obviously as well, but it was that energy, like that vibe, that growth of entrepreneurial spirit and creative culture that were changing the city, and it was palpable. And you could see him kind of changing too. It was when we walked into this building, it was the old Christian Moorline bottling facility. We both kind of looked at each other and just like, yup. That's kind of how it all got started, and a little over a year since. It's been great. So we kept coming back to names that had the word Rhine in them, just because that spoke to the spirit of this. And literally speaking to the spirit of this, Rhinegeist. And so Brian and I would basically just probably have a few extra beers, me here in Cincinnati and him in San Francisco, and then we'd start text messaging each other potential names for the brewery. And we danced around a lot of things, but we kept coming back to this Rhinegeist, this you know, history and spirit of the Rhine. There's a lot of creativity in this room, and a lot of the creativity nowadays is coming in the hop side of things. If we're gonna do an experiment, we try and only change one variable or something at a time. So we might do a pale ale that's really focused on a single hop, so that we know it's gonna be good. It's just a matter of what type of good, you know? Is it gonna be really citrusy? Is it gonna be really grassy? Is it gonna be dank? Like, what's it gonna be like? So our brewer, Jim, he brewed what is now Truth. He was calling it Inspiration Island. And he made a homebrew batch of Inspiration Island. We had 12 bottles of it. That was it for us or for anybody we wanted to give it to. So we like shared one bottle between us, and I mean, from the second you opened it, it was so aromatic. It was so like pungently grapefruity that we were like, yeah, you nailed it. This is it. This is the sweet juice right here. My two favorites are Zen and Uncle. Zen is just like that perfect, like zesty, refreshing light beer with that incredible punch of aromatics. And Uncle was the other, I told you about Inspiration Island being the precursor to Truth. Uncle was a British mild that Jim was brewing on a homebrew scale. It has this really like kind of pretzel-y and bready character to it. And it's only 4.8%. It's darker in color, so you have that like misconception of, oh, it's dark in color, it's gonna be heavier. It's not. Really light and really unique, super drinkable. I think for all those aspects, it's really something that I find myself walking by the bar and pouring myself a pint of pretty frequently. Our goal, most simply, is to keep having fun. You know, to run this business in a way where we're happy, where we get to employ great people and let them live like really fun, happy lives working in a cool place. When I reflect on my life and what's important to me, that's what's important to me. It's not growing as fast as we can. It's not making sure we make it to cities X, Y, and Z by a certain time. It's maintaining that culture and that general happiness for us and the people we employ.